And when someone subscribes to your Empire Investment Report, what are the kind of things that you pass on to them? I think you said that you're not into necessarily stop losses. You're about holding on to winners and riding them for a long time. What are the kind of things that you do differently in your report?
Yeah, well, basically what I try to do is take advantage of 2 decades of being in the hedge fund trenches. And I have a second book that's coming out. I'm parallel processing 2 books right now.
Congratulations, that's hard.
Not really, I didn't plan to have them end up at almost the same launch date, probably within a few months from now. But it's the title of the book is The Rise and Fall of Case Capital, which is the name of my hedge fund, and it traces the incredible success I had in my first dozen years through the financial crisis, nailing the internet bubble, nailing the housing bubble, starting with $1 million out of my bedroom, growing to 200 million plus, being on 60 Minutes twice, on CNBC weekly. They're calling me the prophet, because I predicted the housing bubble and what would happen and so forth. And then
that's amazing in itself.
Yeah, it was a little bit of luck, but a lot of hard work, finding the right mentors, learning from the right people, starting with Buffett and Munger and having Bill Ackman as a college friend and sitting in on Joel Greenblatt's class at Columbia Business School and reading Seth Klarman's book, Margin of Safety, his classic, and so forth. So, it wasn't pure luck, but the old saying, the harder I work, the luckier I am. But then I sort of managed to mess it up. Post-financial crisis, the financial crisis was so traumatizing in many ways to me. And seeing stocks that I had been, buying at 10 go to 2 in a matter of months, and I sort of hung in there, and they all came roaring back. But I kept seeing another crisis around the corner. So I got very defensive. And so, look, anyone who has owned mostly traditional value stocks, who's had cash and who's had a short book, has underperformed significantly in the last decade or so.
And there's a lot of those people. A lot of people have been predicting crashes for the last 4 or 5 years. We've never seen a bull market last this long. When we thought unemployment wouldn't go lower, now it's gone lower. Right. So like you said, it's a strange time. A lot of people were traumatized, whether they knew it or not. That's the thing about trauma, is you don't even know you have it, right? You kind of, pass it over in your mind. And so you're saying that everyone was kind of waiting for that to happen when the stock market just kept going.
Right. So it was only when I closed my hedge fund at the end of 2017, really in frustration. I felt like I'd lost my mojo and had, I hadn't lost my investors' money, but I had underperformed a bull market for sure. And after 12 years of crushing the market, I tripled my investors' money in a flat market, my first dozen years or so. It was very frustrating, and I didn't feel. I guess I sort of felt like Buffett did back in 1970 or so. Like I couldn't figure out the market, and it was only after I closed my fund that I realized how much weight it had sort of been on my shoulders, but also it made me realize that I had these blinders on, and I had sort of dug in my heels and just said, this whole market's a bubble, and I'm just going to sit here with a ton of cash, the big short book and all. And that was completely the wrong way to play it. So now, rather than, after sort of sitting out for a while and teaching a bunch of investing seminars for a year and a bunch of young investors, all the lessons I'd learned over the years, I decided to team up with my old friend Porter Stansberry at Stansberry Research and create this new business, Empire Financial Research, and our first newsletter, the Empire Investment Report, where I can take all the learnings and being in the hedge fund trenches, but also the benefit of being out of the hedge fund trenches and having a little perspective and actually writing a book about my whole career as a hedge fund manager. And that I don't feel like I don't have that weight on my shoulders. I don't have the blinders on. I can pick and choose from both the traditional value and traditional growth investing. And I can find, old school beaten down value stocks like Spirit Airlines or American Outdoor Brands, which makes Smith & Wesson guns, right? Sort of Altria, the old Philip Morris. I almost said Philip Morris, which is now a separate company, but Altria, out of favor, beaten down traditional value stocks. And at the same time, which have done well, by the way, and at the same time, recommend something like Virgin Galactic Holdings, which is a SPAC that merged with Richard Branson's space tourism venture. And that stock's almost doubled for us since we recommended it 2 months ago. So if you looked at the portfolio, it wouldn't look like anybody else's portfolio because half of it is traditional sort of beaten down value stocks and half of it's much growthier oriented, but combined it works.
And you had to get out of the fund business in order to have this new perspective on the market.
Yeah, I mean, I look back and wish, gee, wouldn't it have been nice to keep 50 million under management, which I still had despite years of underperformance. But the problem is if I hadn't actually returned the money and taken some time off, I don't think I would be nearly as good an investor as I am today.
Hi, my name is Brian Rose, and I've just wrapped filming of an exclusive video with Whitney Tilson, the American investor, author, and founder of Empire Financial Research, about some exciting investment opportunities in the electric vehicle and autonomous driving space.
When revolutionary new technologies come along, they follow an S-curve like that. And I think we're in the very early, right about to hit that inflection point with both electric and autonomous vehicles in a way that, I could see in 10 years where more than half of all the cars sold will be both electric and pretty much self-driving, if not full level 5, certainly level 4.
Whitney has been called the prophet by CNBC because of his uncanny ability to predict the future with his investment advice. And our video will not be available on YouTube or anywhere else but the link below.
It's an incredibly exciting area, and I don't think people fully appreciate how quickly it's going to happen.
Look, we've all seen the massive moves in Tesla stock recently, and yet most of us missed it. But Whitney has 5 special investment ideas that the general public have never heard of that will allow you to take advantage of this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity in the electric vehicle and autonomous driving space.
Think of the implications for auto insurance if computers are driving cars. Hopefully, almost 40,000 Americans die every year on the roads and many, many more injured.
The truth is, this sector is going to change everything, from energy to automotive to insurance, even saving hundreds of thousands of lives due to car accidents every single year. And because you are a London Real viewer, I've managed to get you free access to his groundbreaking special investment report through the link below.
We're rushing to finish our research and write it up and get it out because all the publicity with Tesla stock ripping is drawing attention to the whole sector, and we want to get our report out quickly so that our readers and subscribers can take advantage of some of the other stocks that investors haven't yet picked up on and haven't yet tripled, but we think have that kind of potential.
Whitney says that we should expect exponential growth in this sector, much like we saw with the introduction of the iPhone in 2007. Imagine being an investor in Apple back then. How much would you have made? So click on the link below or go to londonreal.tv/invest to watch our video and download your copy of this free report. Unfortunately, I've been limited to the number of people who can have access, so act now and get your free copy to take advantage of this incredible investment opportunity.